Hello and welcome to the Football Brief. I'm Aaron, and across the pond all the way in sunny Manchester, I'm joined by my co-host Brad, here to break down all the biggest football stories with you. Thank you to everybody for listening and watching. As always, we are pleased to brief you. Okay, let's get into it. Bro, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. I'm okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
Uh,
I haven't got my mug today. I know.
uh,
I know. Poor form from me.
good coffee as well, but you are on the way out to play football. So
Although coffee wouldn't be a bad
be
a
later.
bad shout actually. So welcome to the first podcast, the inaugural podcast for the Football Brief. Um, Obviously we've been putting a few shorts out there, and there's been clips that have been circulating, and this is our first full length video, and the idea is then to drop one every week. So we're going to try something new today. We're going to see how we get on with it. Bear with us. I'm sure there'll be teething problems as always, but we'll see what we can do moving forward, and we'll hopefully get it fine tuned. So to start with, Bradders, I am going to quickly rattle through some football headlines or just some news that is circulating at the minute, and I just want you to give me an opinion, nothing long-winded, just a brief, quick, short, sharp opinion on your thoughts on that particular matter. I've got four different headlines, so I'm going to go through
Interesting.
them. Yeah. So I'm just intrigued to hear what you think about it, really. So the first one is a Paul Pogba exclusive. Remember him? So Paul
Paul
Pogba has,
Pogba's doping scandal.
yeah. So he's done his first exclusive interview with Sky Sports since his doping offence and subsequent ban. What are your thoughts? Do you remember him?
I remember him well. Not many players that come into our club massively underperform on both occasions and leave for a free on two occasions. So yeah, I remember him well. I'm bored of the guy, man. I know he's won a World Cup. I know he's shown flares of being a talented player, but for me, he's one of the most overrated, underachieving players. I'm not on the soonest vibe of everything's Pogba's fault. But I'm bored of the guy. There's been clips circulating for a while now, and he was tested at United, and there's one of them being taken off the pitch, kind of saying, "Why is it always me being tested?" And he kicked up a bit of a fuss. So look, he's managed to get it reduced. Apparently, it was in something that a doctor prescribed him, but it wasn't a club doctor; it was an outside doctor. So you've got to be careful. If you're a pro footballer, listening to all the pros talk about it, they all say as well, you go through the club doctor, you check everything. It is the way it is. So I'm a bit bored of the guy. Don't think we really needed a big long interview to say I haven't cheated, but I accept that I've had drugs in my system. Well, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
bored of the guy in absolute honesty, and I think the only reason he's getting airtime is because it's international break. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah. No. Fair enough. I agree. Okay. Thank you. The next bit of news that I've seen, and which is fairly fresh, is another one of your old stars at Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo has been filmed.
Twisting the knife with the ex-United
I
players today, aren't you?
Yeah, I really am. I mean, they're just prima donnas, aren't they? So he's been videoed, and it's all on social media. So Scotland play Portugal. Ronaldo's first ever game at Hampden Park in
It
Scotland. So
was,
you can
yeah.
imagine the atmosphere. The Scots, they bring the passion. They bring
Staying at a hotel on Loch Lomond, I heard.
well, some good intel there. Okay. So yeah, he obviously Portugal were frustrated to a 0-0 draw. Scotland had their fair share of chances as well. Ronaldo is seen gesticulating, throwing his arms around, getting really stroppy. Is that just passion, or is that just him being a prima donna?
Look, it's Ronaldo. He's always been the same, I think, since very early on in his career, and that's why he is an elite top athlete, because he has that drive and that passion every minute that he's on the pitch. So I do think that's just what you get with Ronaldo. I'm surprised he's not done an interview with Piers Morgan to tell everyone how frustrated he was. The guy, he is a prima donna now. He comes with drama. He whines because, let's be honest, that's all he's got. All he's got. He's irrelevant now. He's kept in the Portugal team, probably through detriment to the Portugal team, to be honest with you, but out of his legend status. So there's that. He's playing over in Saudi. He's an ambassador for the Saudi League on ridiculous money. So all his football status, credibility has almost separated now. He's not relevant in the football world. He won't be winning any Ballon d'Ors anytime soon. So, yeah, great career, but bored now. Stop whinging, stop whining, and end your career with grace.
End your career with grace. Okay, I like that. Third bit of news that I've found, it actually relates to one of my team's former players, Aston Villa. So Villa, Douglas Luiz made the
Dougie.
I want to say slightly controversial move to Juventus in the summer, and I say controversial because it was all under FFP. It was well documented that we had to sell a player. Douglas Luiz was that player to appease FFP rules.
And they lost Pogba.
I mean, yeah.
Wounded. He'll end up in Saudi as well. Rejects of football. 32 by the time he comes back. Absolutely. Won a World Cup. Done nothing since. Anyway, Dougie,
No. I mean, you didn't really get a chance to really vent when you left, so you let it out if you need to. Yeah, so obviously Villa replaced Douglas Luiz with Onana and Ross Barkley, and they seem to be ticking on nicely. However, things don't seem to be going as sweetly for Dougie Luiz and his partner Alicia Lehmann because they moved together. Let's not forget the first couple to move together to a team, which I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, so the Italian press have been talking about how he's a bit of a flop signing. He's not started well. Just thought I'd try and gauge your thoughts on Douglas Luiz because look, last season, he's a great player. He was a good player for Villa. You watched him quite closely, so I just wanted to get your thoughts.
Yeah, look, I think with Douglas Luiz and talk about his Aston Villa career, it comes in two parts. You've got pre-Unai and then you've got post-Unai. And I think when Douglas Luiz was on the pitch, pre-Unai, he always had a red card in him. He was heartburn football. He couldn't be relied upon. Yes, last season he had a great season under Unai. He's been transformed into a much better player. But I trust with Unai Emery the process. I trust his thought. He must have seen something in Douglas Luiz that he was quite happy to let go. What he kept hold of most of your academy stars that are coming through as well. And you made some shrewd signings in the likes of Rodgers. Onana, I think, has been fantastic for you. Barkley on a free. So, I think must have seen something. It doesn't surprise me that he's struggling because, we remember the recent history, but previous to that, there was always a mistake in him. And he wasn't that midfielder that you could rely on game in, game out to deliver for you. So, no huge surprise there.
Okay. Thank you. And finally, can we just give a hand to Craig Bellamy, the Wales manager? Because
Home Nations, well done.
Home Nations. I think Welsh as well. Wow. The Welsh FA got that right, didn't they? They got the Welshman. Craig Bellamy has won his first 4 games on the bounce, which makes him the first Welsh manager in history to do that. Thoughts?
I think he's done well. He's come in. He's working with limited squad of players that Wales have. It's the post-Bale era. Structurally, the playing style, everything needs to be changed. So I think it's good that they've got a fresh mind in. Bellamy was, a fantastic player for them. I think he broke some records for them. And I remember him being quite a fierce player on the pitch. So I think he'll instill some real patriotism and some fight in them where maybe they'll lack in quality. They'll now excel in physicality and passion and just pure want and drive to win the game. So we'll see. They've not really come up against anybody of note yet, but we'll see how he goes. I think, but let it be commended. I think it's great that home nations are picking home nations managers, and you see them do well. But
I agree.
Let's see how they go.
I think as well, Craig Bellamy reminds me of. I feel like he's one of the old school sort of players, like your Roy Keanes and your Rio Ferdinands and like your John Terrys, and he's just got that. He's cut from that cloth, and I just those boys in that dressing room. Because I mean, Bellamy had a bit of a notorious career himself, and he wasn't shy of making a few headlines or two. So I feel like he'll really assert his authority on the changing room. So that's good, man. And good luck to them, and see
Well,
how.
he comes in with a reputation, doesn't he? So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you probably one you don't want to cross.
No.
But seems like he's got the lads, hate the phrase, but ready to run through brick walls for him. So we'll see if that continues.
No, good. Well, thank you. That was Brad's brief opinions. Next, we're going to have a brief discussion, and we're going to go to our football brief spinner. There's 3 headlines which we could discuss, and the spinner will decide what we're going to talk about.
So interesting. What are the topics then? What are the topics?
Right.
So we've got Tuchel as a New England manager, Sir Alex Ferguson to stand down, and are players playing too much football?
So
Interesting.
yeah, the idea is there's a lot of topics out there. Had to condense it to 3. We're going to spin the spinner, and then it's going to choose one, and we're going to give the audience, our true thoughts about it. So yeah, I shall spin away. Oh, it makes a noise. It makes a noise. It makes a sound. Oh. Oh, I think bad guys wish. Today you will be briefed on our too much football. Okay, so are players playing too much football? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now so we can get into it. So, Brad, you can kick us off. I'll get involved with this one. Are players playing too much football?
Well, it's an entertainment sport, isn't it? Let's have it right. I think it's the old adage of they play too much football, they get injured. But let's have it right. Squad size is now bigger than they've ever been. The teams that are playing multiple games, so you're talking 60 plus games, that means they're getting very far in other competitions, whether it be cup competitions or European competitions. And they have the capabilities to build out bigger squads. So do I think they're playing too much football? I don't. It's not that I'm sitting on the fence at all, but I see a clear way forward in both.
Sorry, the reason this has come up is because, as you know, in the press, Rodri, I think John McGinn as well.
He's now injured.
Yeah, well, there's been several players that have voiced their concerns about the fixture congestion and the amount of games being played. These new formats, which is increased game capacity, i.e., Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. So, like,
For sure, and I
room
get
for
that.
discussion. I think there's room for discussion.
Absolutely,
So that's where it comes
absolutely.
from.
My initial thought is no. I don't think they are playing too much football because that's what squad rotation's for, right? That's why you have multiple players in each position, especially in the teams that are at that higher level competing in the 60 to 70 games a season bracket. On the other hand of it, if the answer to that is yes, I mean, the players are the only ones really that can answer that themselves. So if they feel that, yes, actually, we are playing too much football, well, that's a very clear pathway forward. That's no problem. The reason that you play more games is because we need to commercialise football more. I think something like 75 or 80% of the money in football goes to the players. So take a pay cut. We'll reduce the amount of games. We can cut back on commercial deals. We can reduce some of the competitions and the amount of games that are played within them. So yeah, for sure. But they have to be on board to take a pay cut if they feel they play too many games. Personally, no, I don't think they do. I think you just need to shut up and buck up and get on with it. You've got a very short career and you go and make the most of those 15, 20 years. Simple.
Yeah, no, look, I tend to agree with a lot of what you're saying. I do think
Also, just on Rodri, sorry, just whilst I remember it, you can make stats work how you want. I know he's injured, but actually he says they're playing too many games. I think out of all the games he played last season, he actually only completed the full 90 minutes on 33. Didn't complete 90 minutes on 33 of his games.
Oh, really?
So he's taken off, 60, 70 minutes in by Pep. So I think we've got to look at that as well. That's what squad rotation's about, So
Yeah,
and they won the league last year, right? So
yeah, and we keep saying squad rotation, and that is true, and that's what squads are for. But then the argument is for some clubs as well, we can't get a big squad yet because FFP is sort of, it's constricting us with that. My thing is, right, problem solution, right? We've got a problem. Let's think of solutions. We can all try and like talk about the overloaded games, or we can talk about squad rotation in different cups. You're right. Okay, as fans, as football fans, as you know, as pundits in the media, we hear it often. Ex players, nobody is a fan of these international breaks. Nobody. You might get the odd person, and they're just boring. So like, as a solution, can we not put some of these? I mean, I do think the Nations League is a really stupid competition to have introduced. I do
Oh,
think it's really
let's not
biased.
forget what the Nations League was introduced for, though,
So can
right?
we
These
maybe
used to be friendlies. All these fixtures used to be friendlies, so
they're
they had to bring
glorified
in
friendlies then?
something.
So
Mm.
these are now glorified friendlies. Is that
That's
what?
exactly what they are.
I'll
They
be honest.
brought something in to put a title on it because of the fact that we were so sick of watching friendlies and it interrupting the league.
I'll be honest. I don't know what the Nations League is. I don't get it. I don't understand. I know it sounds crazy. I don't actually understand. It's like, oh, well, if they win against Greece and they win against who do we play last? I don't even know who we played last. Is that they get promoted into the next league? I'm like, what?
Yeah, they've now related it to the World Cup qualifiers, and yeah,
No. That's separate, right? Or is there some sort of
no. So
credit?
depending where we finish in our table, depends whether or not we start the World Cup qualifiers in March or I think maybe February. So if we don't finish top of our group, then it means we
Right.
get extra games in February as essentially a World Cup qualifier prelim.
Nah, that sounds like a farce. Yeah, that just sounds like the fact that we're trying to sort of talk about it, figure it out. Like for me, no. Um, yeah, I think look, I think there's obviously the conversations. It's out there now, and I guess it comes down to the club, the manager, the club doctors to manage the game load and the players. That's what it comes down. That's what they're getting paid for, right? They're getting paid a lot of money, and I get they're human beings. There's strain on the bodies, but you are getting conditioned every other day. You're getting a massage. You're getting the best treatment you can from doctors, from medical staff. So like, yes, there's going to be a strain on the body. I agree, but you are getting, with that, you are equally getting support for it. So I just think you got to manage it. I don't think there's too many games. I want more games. If I'm a player, yeah, I heard like Danny Murphy on Talk Sport, who I've questioned him over the years, but I actually think he made a really good point. If you are a hungry, ambitious player and you're playing for a top club, or even if you're not playing for a top club, you want to be in every competition. You want to
Yeah,
be at the best level you can be,
prove
which
yourself.
means you're going to play more games. So, you know,
Absolutely. I mean, and you've got to look at it in the black and white of it. 25-man squads that you bring into the Premier League. You've got two players in every position.
yeah,
You have, regardless. So it is just about managing minutes and game time and,
yeah.
being clever, which stages of which competitions you bring people in, which games you play certain players. So, yeah, I think no is how I feel. But if the players who are the only ones that can answer that, if
Okay,
they
so
feel that it's yes, then they need to sit around a table with the Premier League and with their bosses and figure out taking a pay cut to reduce the amount of games they play.
well, I think taking from what you're saying, from what I'm saying, our players playing too much football. I'm going to give that a no from the football brief. No, they're not playing too much football. Um, so thanks to that. That ends our brief discussion on this week's headline. So to round off for the last couple of minutes, I want to have a quick look ahead to the fixtures, but we'll look ahead to our team's fixtures. Okay, so I want to go quickly. Just give me a prediction for Manchester United, Brentford, and anything that we need to look out for. Anything surrounding that fixture that you think could be about Thomas Frank, could be about Manu, whatever.
In terms of United, be anything at the moment with us. Could
Are your
probably.
players, are they going to come back refreshed and ready for this fixture? I feel like
I don't think so. I
Okay,
don't think so.
all right.
No, I don't think so. I've lost a lot. Look, I hope they come out and I hope they do a job. Realistically, what do I think? I think it could be quite a tight little game. The
Brentford are good.
the fan
Brentford are
base
very good.
at Old Trafford at the moment, our heads go down very quickly when the players come out and it's just the same old again. So I think it could be 2-1 to Brentford or 2-1 to United, depending who turns up.
And just on that, you mentioned the crowd. You were there at the Tottenham game the other week. did you feel after the first goal went in for Tottenham, the atmosphere? I mean, it was already tense, right? Already on edge, is what I'm hearing.
Well, no, because we started off,
Did it turn?
we had like a 10-minute period in the first half where actually we looked decent. So the crowd were behind them. We went 1-0 down, and the crowd was still there. We were still backing them, but yeah, when the second went in, it was tough. And then obviously second half came, we looked okay for through parts of the second half we looked okay. We looked pretty solid, and then the third went, and half the stadium left. So.
Okay. So
Second
you think
3-0 defeat at home. What do you expect from the fans, really?
so you think
As
the
I
first
look up
goal
and I've got Ten Hag on Sky Sports News in front of me. Oh.
Oh, I bet you've missed that bold head. So you think first goal is important, but ultimately you think Brentford are going to win? Okay.
2-1 to Brentford. 2-1. What about you with your boys? You've got
I'm
a
going to
couple of injuries
go.
at the moment as well, haven't you?
Yeah, again, I'm playing too much football. Clearly, joke. I'm going to go same result, but I'm going to go 2-1 to the Villa. I just have faith in us. I always love it after an international break because in my mind, Unai Emery, this maths the tactician, he's just like sat in a cave or he's home, and he's just finicking with numbers and tactics and boards. He's just there in his own little mind, his own little mind, and he's got his time. And then come the end of the break, he's just raring to go. So I think we'll come out strong. I do think. Don't get me wrong, Fulham is going to be a tough game, and I know we touched on Fulham in the past and how good they are, and you like Smith Rowe, but yeah, I'm going to say 2-1 the Villa, and yeah, and yeah, injuries aren't going to be a problem. Hopefully, we get no more. So, right.
Fingers crossed. Well, good to catch up again. That's all from us at the Football Brief. Safe, people. Stay safe.